I look like an absolute mess. Yep. And I'm still gonna record a bunch of videos looking like a mess. Why? Because of the virus corona thingy, the COVID-19 situation, the barber shops are closed, and they closed one day before I had my appointment. So I haven't been to the barber for 2 months or something like that, so my hair is fucking long. It's just like... yesterday I asked you guys what you guys want to see the next video on. And from the poll, there was a clear winner. There you have it, the history of the Bosnian flag explained. So there is already a bunch of videos of certain subjects that I wanted to make a video on, which are explained really well and even contain stuff that I didn't know. So instead of just remaking the same content or making the same content, I'm gonna do just like reaction videos, commentary on the video, because it's way easier for you guys to understand. Maybe I can help explain some things from the video, and this will make sure that the information is 100% correct. So this video is from the channel General Knowledge, and let's see what he has found out about the Bosnian flag and its history, and if I can confirm it.
Looks like this: blue with a yellow triangle and a number of white stars. We will see why 2 of them are halved later on. But as usual, the flag of Bosnia...
I think I did explain this flag in the past video, but doesn't matter, let's continue.
Didn't always look like this, changing throughout history and shifting depending on which type of ruler they had, which empire they belonged to, or which regime was in place. So in this video, we're going to talk about the history and meaning of the flag of Bosnia. As we've established in previous videos, the earliest forms of countries in Europe or even in the world didn't really use flags. They
banners.
used symbols, either related to their rulers or their religion, or sometimes both. Eventually, these symbols became symbols of an entire territory or nation, being carried by soldiers in war and later flown at sea by the country's ships. Bosnia as a nation was a medieval polity of the Byzantine Empire, existing from the 7th century to 1154. And while not having a specific flag...
Yeah, they don't have a specific flag, but I think he's about to explain that. But the symbol that you see in the on this, well, tombstone, to say this, on this stone, these kind of stones are still spread throughout Bosnia. And there's actually one near me, in the city nearby. It's Bihać, and they have like the courtyard of the castle is filled with these big rocks with all these signs.
Except maybe a Byzantine Empire one, they did use a specific symbol, one that is present throughout Bosnian history, and we can see it carved into this tombstone from those days, the Bosnian golden lily, very similar if not identical to the French fleur-de-lis. In 1154, the Bosnian state evolved and became...
Well, I think it's the same flower, but some people say no, it's a flower you can only find in Bosnia, which is really similar, but it's a flower you can only find there. I haven't found anything or anyone that can actually prove that with evidence or with the higher science behind it, if it's actually the same plant or, you know. But with that out of the way, let's continue.
No longer under Byzantine rule, but rather a part of the Kingdom of Hungary. This was the Banat of Bosnia. Despite being technically part of Hungary, it was a de facto independent state within it, with this independence being achieved by a ruler named Kulin, one of the most notable historic figures of Bosnia. There was no local flag, but there was a coat of arms. This one, other than
a coat of arms. This sign is something that is still used by the Bosnian Ultras, BH Fanaticos. It's also used by certain clothing brands in Bosnia. It's really a symbol that's well known. For something that's that old, it's pretty impressive that a lot of people still know about this.
Then the ornaments, we should focus on the shield, blue with a white diagonal stripe. I assume it came into existence as the coat of arms of one of the ruling families at the time, and it seems to be the first point in Bosniak history where blue and white are used as the nation's colors. In 1377, the Ban became a kingdom, with King, and I have no idea how to say this name, Tvrtko I.
Tvrtko, he did a pretty good job, man. Really good. Tvrtko. Yeah, respect.
Now, The vertical seal used different symbols than those we associate with Bosnia today. Here we see a simple knight on a horse. However, in a coin from the time, we can see the presence of an important symbol, the Bosnian fleur-de-lis. And while the seal was different, the coat of arms seems the same, with a shield carrying a diagonal stripe in it. It's not very clear in this picture, but I also found this recreation of it. The blue field was filled with 6 golden fleur-de-lis, with the white stripe also having a few extra ornaments on it. The kingdom under this form existed until 1463, and
I personally prefer it without the ornaments in the white stripe. I think it looks cleaner without. This width just looks a bit weird, but I guess they did what they had to do to decorate the coins and stuff.
during this period that we can identify a first actual flag for Bosnia, or at least a banner, if you will, copying the design of the coat of arms and displayed in a vertical rectangular shape. The kingdom was thriving at this point and expanding its territory for a while, but then came the Ottomans, and from the 15th to the 19th century, Bosnia and Herzegovina were under Ottoman rule. They used various flags, either the general Ottoman one or variations of it using the same symbols, like these two green flags, or an adaptation of one of them which was briefly used by a short-lived Bosniak revolting independent state. The Ottomans were always in a state of conflict with Austria and Hungary for the control of the Balkans, and an example of that is what happened with Bosnia in 1878.
Everyone was always fighting for the Balkan region, and the people there never had something to say or do about it themselves. By the way, about that, not being able to stand up for yourself and stuff, that's gonna be featured in the upcoming videos where in a 5-part series, the entire history of the region is gonna be explained. So stay tuned for that and subscribe if you want to see that series. A 5-part series on the entire history of the Balkans / well, more Bosnia, but the Balkans as well.
At least a big part of it, and ruled over it as the condominium of Bosnia-Herzegovina. The flag was a horizontal bicolor of red and yellow, although this was then reserved for Bosnia alone, while Herzegovina used an inverted one of yellow and red. And the coat of arms was this one, with a pale yellow field and an arm wearing red and carrying a curved sword. This symbol was present since at least the 1600s in the flag, which represented the territory of Bosnia for the Hungarians, and they called it Rama. So the idea that I get is that this flag just represented Austro-Hungarian rule, just like the previous ones represented Ottoman rule, and the true banners and symbols of Bosnia as a nation were suppressed during these periods of foreign occupation and belonging to other empires.
Exactly. But that's about to change.
Territories remained under Austrian-Hungarian rule, using these flags plus their imperial banners as well until the end of World War I. And in 1918, Bosnia became part of the state of Slovenes, Croats, and Serbs, a political entity constituted by the residents of the southernmost parts of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. But its tricolor flag and somewhat strange coat of arms only lasted for 53 days, before joining the Kingdom of Serbia and forming the new Kingdom of Serbs, Croats, and Slovenes, using an inverted tricolor but with the same blue, white, and red. Eventually, this kingdom transformed itself into Yugoslavia. Under
Yugoslavia. Yugo is South, Slavia is Slav, so Yugo, South Slavs.
Yugoslav rule, Bosnia flew more than one flag. First, the tricolor we just saw, and then adding a red and yellow star to it once Yugoslavia stopped being a kingdom and became a socialist state. Their coat of arms also changed when the regime transformed itself. Yugoslavia was organized into 6 socialist republics. One of them was the Socialist Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina, and their flag was a plain red flag with the national banner on the top left, while the local coat of arms was just a traditional socialist one without any national symbols. In 1992, Yugoslavia was dissolved.
Because communism suppresses nationalism and or individual nationalism and, of course, religion.
And its member states regained independence. And so, that same year, the Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina was created. The coat of arms of the kingdom was recovered and placed on a plain white flag, which was flown to symbolize the return of their sovereignty. Having recovered independence, the flag was changed in 1998.
Yes, because the other people living in Bosnia and Herzegovina did not feel that it was representing them. So NATO forced Bosnia to change the flag to something that represented all people, all three people living in Bosnia and Herzegovina: the Croatians, the Serbs, and the Bosnians living in Croatia are ethnical Serbs, ethnical Croatians, let's call it that way, living in Bosnia feel left out. So that's why the flag had to be changed. And also, this flag also looked a lot like the army flag from the Bosnian War, from the Bosnian army. So a lot of people were against using this as a national flag because they did not feel comfortable with it, or to say so.
To the current version that we know today. Apparently the reason for the change was the presence of other peoples other than the Bosniaks in the territory, which felt like this flag only represented Bosnia and not the other nationalities present in the country. And so, this is it. The flag of Bosnia, a blue field with a yellow isosceles triangle and a number of white stars. The white stars are said to represent Europe, and they are meant to be infinite in number, which is why two of them are only shown in half. The white color seems to be because it is a historical color of Bosnia since its earliest form. The triangle, some say, represent through its 3 points
the shape of the country, like I explained.
The three peoples which make up the nation: the Bosniaks, the Croats,
and that as well,
and the Serbs. The blue is, as we've seen, also a historical color of Bosnia, being present since the earliest versions of the coat of arms and banners, and the yellow/golden as well, being present in the initial fleur-de-lis symbols. A fun fact is that originally the blue tone was to match that of the UN flag, but it was later changed to a darker blue to correspond to the flag of the European Union. There were various proposals.
I didn't know that it was meant to be that light blue. That would be ugly as fuck.
Proposals which were never adopted, like this green, blue and red one in the style of Czechia, this one with an olive branch, this one maintaining the tricolor and adding the country's shape to it, or this strange striped one which...
What the fuck? Those were actually flag concepts? Holy shit, I'm glad we didn't
actually
have
looks
these.
pretty cool. Inside Bosnia, some local flags are used. Apparently Bosnia is divided into various cantons.
By the way, just for you guys to know, the original flag, the one with the shield and the fleur-de-lis, or the liliane, how do you ever want to call it, is still flown by football supporters, by the Bosnians in general, like a lot of, or let's say, the Muslim part of Bosnia. Nationalistic Bosnians fly that flag, and people who just don't accept the new flag since they see it as their original flag and the flag that they have fought for during the war. So a lot of people were really mad that the new flag was being picked, since lost a lot of family, friends in the war during the fighting for the independent country with this flag on the side. And then all of a sudden the flag gets changed. It's kind of weird. Explain it perfectly. Like, there's not much to add, and the information that would make it complicated that I would try to explain, he just chuck it out and summarize it, which made it really easy to understand. And I hope you guys understand that a simple flag is not that simple for a country, depending on its history. And as you can see in Bosnia, it is everything but simple, and it has a lot of meaning. And especially this last flag is not really well adopted from the generation who fought in the war, but is now generally more and more being adopted by the younger generations as their national flag. So I hope it won't change a lot anymore in the future. I would like it to be the white one with a shield, because I think it looks way better and it has way more meaning to it when considering all the history around it. I don't mind this one as well. So I hope you guys liked this video, that you learned something new. Check out General Knowledge's channel if you want to see more of these kind of videos on other countries. I hope he's gonna do more on the Balkans, like Croatia and stuff, so we can do videos on that as well. But so far he has great information, it's correct. Like the video as well, it's really simple to understand, and there's no bullshit in it. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, leave a like down below, consider subscribing, and I see you guys in the next video. Ciao.
Perfect. Perfect.